Okay, this is January 11th, 2017. I spent all day in court today, mostly waiting for my hearing. This is my 6th arrest, and it was for allegedly violating an order of protection. And when I met with my attorney, I was like, this is the stupidest one yet. This is, I mean, we keep thinking, you know, every one of these false allegations is just ridiculous, but I think this one really was I don't know, it might have been a toss-up between this one and the last one, which was dismissed because the victim witness person didn't show up. That was when I was arrested for criminal trespassing during my supervised visit that I paid $170 for with my little girl, May 25th. That was unbelievable. I was kind of curious. I kind of wish that the woman who had me charged, I kind of wish she had come to explain herself in court, because it takes nothing to get somebody arrested. And I don't know what it takes for the police, or I guess the police, to file charges against you for false reporting, because if you go in to say, oh, I've got an order of protection, and this person broke the order of protection by writing her daughter's name, and then they arrest you for that, and then they leave it up to the judge to decide whether or not that was a violation of the order of protection. So they couldn't even prove I had written the chalk messages that said, "Stop court-ordered child abuse," "Bring Delara home," cclja.org, "Children need both parents." I think that was all. So I was arrested for writing those messages on a public sidewalk. I never saw those particular pictures. I don't even know if I'm the person who wrote those particular messages. I know I have written messages similar to that. Yeah. But what it boiled down to today was nobody could prove that I had written those messages that were in question. So if they had been able to prove that, my defense attorney had several other reasons why I should have been found guilty for violating the order of protection, like such as the order of protection does not say I cannot write on chalk on sidewalks. And even if you do consider writing on sidewalks with chalk, even if you did consider that vandalism or something, or even if there was some kind of narrowly tailored ordinance against that, that's a whole different issue. The question today was, did I violate an order of protection by chalking messages on a sidewalk? And because they couldn't even prove I can't even prove. I mean, I didn't see them. There's lots of different people besides me who are writing messages. There are lots of different people besides me writing messages in places where Sarah Rice Digby's client might see them, or where my child might see them. Of course, I want my child to see the messages. But I never directed any messages to the person who has the order of protection against me. So it was a huge waste of time, huge waste of resources, taxpayer dollars at work It was kind of satisfying to see the person accusing me. What and he couldn't, he couldn't say, he didn't have any way of knowing I was the one who wrote those messages in the first place. And then and my lawyer, Adam Pinchek, one of the national defenders, he's awesome. He kept making objections, and I didn't even know what he was really objecting about, because he was just so quick to make these objections. I mean, the whole thing's so stupid. It never should have gone to trial. I never should have been arrested. That's what it boils down to, is I never should have, no police commissioner, nobody should have signed an arrest warrant. That's where it first fell to pieces. Crazy. But, so at some point, the prosecutor asked, how long was the person accusing me, Sarah Rice's client, how long had he been in a relationship with me? And I wondered what he was going to say, because I wondered if he was going to say, I dumped her before the baby was born, or what was he going to say? And which is what happened. And we did try to reconnect for a few weeks. I said, just, I'm just about the end of my rope. I don't know what direction to go in. Can we be a couple for a few weeks or a few months and just pretend we're like a couple and see if we can do it? And it lasted no time. I told my therapist, I said, I want to give it 6 months. And my therapist said, don't put any expectations on a time limit on it, because if you start getting close to that deadline you set and things fall apart, that it might be too much pressure. So like, okay, we're just gonna take it one day at a time. It was like 6 weeks. I said, okay, thank you for indulging me in this little experiment. I'm very satisfied now that there is no way in the world, there's no way we can ever, I wasn't ready to say we can't peacefully coexist. I was just to say there's no way you can ever be a romantic partner. There's no way we can have any kind of, we can't even get back that friendship we had. So that was in 2011, like September, and then it might have been 2 months. And October 31st, I said, that's it. I've had enough. I'm satisfied. I've done everything I could possibly do to have a mutually beneficial relationship. You go enjoy your parenting time with the child. I'll go enjoy my parenting time with the child, and let's just stay out of each other's life. But no, he couldn't. He couldn't let that happen. That was the beginning of the end, I think. But that's where I considered, from that point on, I didn't even want anything beyond just shared parenting. Not even really co-parenting, but just the parallel parenting. Just you enjoy your time, I'll enjoy my time, and let's stay out of each other's life. And 2011, it was October 31st, 2011, I had this talk with him. And he should have been in counseling. I went to counseling when I was pregnant. I had such a hard time dealing with this situation. And then I've been in counseling 6 years straight with the same counselor for 6 years straight. My daughter's been in counseling for 2 years, but the person who is instigating all the trouble isn't, nobody will say, oh, he needs counseling. But I'm so tired. I'm just brain dead. I don't know how I got off on that. Oh, the relationship thing. So he just sat there and didn't answer it. And then he started to talk about something else, and the judge cut him off and said, next question. Because he didn't whatever he was starting to say had nothing to do with how long we had had a relationship or anything about her. It was just, it was weird. But I was wondering, does he still think we are in some kind of a relationship, and he has some right, some authority over me, or some right to control what I do and what I say? I don't know what's going on in his head, but it was just weird. Yeah. So that was said to him, and when they but it was so nice that all these objections sustained, because, and then the prosecutor, I could tell she felt like I feel when I go in front of, when I'm in court and I'm trying to make my case, and I get cut off and cut off and cut off. All the things I meant to say, cut off, cut off, cut off. You can't say that, you can't say that, you can't say that. And she just stood there for a long time trying to, like, what do I do now? Because she didn't have a case. The DA, I know some woman, I don't know who she was. She didn't have a case from day one. They never should have taken this to trial. It's crazy. They should have just said, this is just stupid, it's not worth our time, and just dismissed it. But the good thing about not dismissing it is that I get to kind of watch what happens, and I was hoping that the judge would say because this is the second time I've had a bench trial in front of Judge Gail Robinson for allegedly violating an order of protection when I did not violate the order of protection. So the second time he's had to say, there's no way he could convict me. Yeah, the last time he said, I cannot in good conscience convict this woman. And he was talking about First Amendment. Yeah, because the whole point is, my daughter has been unlawfully taken from me. And the person who is responsible for asking the courts to do that, and who has gotten away with it, doesn't want me telling anybody what's going on, because he wants to remain in control. And if people find out what is happening in my daughter's life, and the injustice that's being administered, and the suffering my daughter's enduring, and if the people would stand up and say, oh, this isn't right, and complain about the lawyers and complain about the judges, and I don't mean file a formal complaint, I mean pick up the phone, call Sarah Rice Digby on the phone, Digby Family Law. Oh, it's right here. I'll give you her phone number right now. Digby Family Law. If you think all this nonsense is a she's getting paid for it, does that mean it's legitimate? What's that? Digby Family Law. Sarah Rice, R-E-I-S-T, Digby. Digby Family Law, telephone 615-997-3741. Her email is sarah@digbyfamilylaw.com. This is not what I got. This is a page of what I got today in the mail. So today's I was 100% sure. I was 100% sure that Gail Robinson would not be able to find me guilty, because there's so many reasons why. Just like the last trial, there were so many reasons. There were like 4 or 5 reasons why I should not be found guilty for violating the order of protection. I didn't violate the order of protection. And they just spend all day arguing about it. So today, like I said, they cut it off pretty. We've actually been in there for a while, but they couldn't even prove I had written those messages. And like I said, I don't even know that I wrote those messages that they're talking about, and that they submitted pictures of. I didn't see the pictures. But it's nice to go to court and have a judge attempting to follow the law. It was very, very, I really appreciate that. Gail Robinson. But at the end of it, he was saying that, because the whole thing is I am saying things people don't want me to say. I am engaging in constitutionally protected speech to try in an effort to protect my daughter from abuse. And so it's not just me wanting to shoot off my mouth. It's me trying to basically save my daughter's life, because I understand that the kind of trauma that she's being subjected to, her whole life will be affected by this. You know, yeah, that children are resilient, but this is going to affect her, and she has suffered irreparable injury. And courts have found that when you're denied fundamental liberties, even for a brief period of time, that constitutes irreparable harm. And my daughter has been suffering irreparable harm for 3 years. It's been worse the last 2 years. The first one, I was able to mitigate the damage that year because I still had pretty, yeah, the restrictions on me were not, I thought they were pretty bad, because they shouldn't have been, I shouldn't have had any restrictions on me at all. But in 2015, when they cut me 100% out of her life, without any showing of any harm or any threat of substantial harm, they just did it because Sarah Rice Digby's client did not want me in my daughter's life. So he goes, tells a bunch of lies, gets an order of protection, and I don't have any contact for a year. And in that year, she falls apart, which you would expect a 6.5-year-old to do when they've abruptly had their mother cut off out of their life. I mean, it's like I died, you know, except she knew I wasn't dead. She thought I might have been in jail. She thought I might die before she did get to see me again. And why was that? Because the father decided he didn't want to share parenting anymore. And yeah, what he said in court was, what has changed is the child has changed. 6.5-year-old doesn't need her mother as much as a 2-year-old does. And so he cuts me 100%. It's not like, well, I think she should see you every other weekend. It's like no contact. And then last year they took her off the order of protection. And then this year, right when it was fixing to expire, I thought they weren't going to renew the order of protection, and I did have a lawyer at that time, but I'd run out of money, so I wasn't going to bring her over to Third Circuit Court when I couldn't even pay her in juvenile court. But they asked for it to be extended, and I have a question. I don't know if anybody knows the answer to this question. Order of protection issued June 15, 2015. When does it expire? If it was for 1 year, doesn't it expire? Does it expire the 14th or the 15th of 2016? And then to extend it, you have to file a motion, have a hearing, blah, 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 get an order to extend it. So they extended it, and I figured it was expired the 15th or 16th of June. And then this 2017, I didn't think they were going to extend it, but they filed, on the 16th of June, they filed a motion to extend it. And my question is, wouldn't it have expired the 15th? So they're filing a motion after it expired to extend it for 5 years? I wish somebody would find out the law about that for me, because I'm confused about that, and my defense attorney wasn't sure either. But I've got a big question. Are any of these orders I've been arrested on, this last one was, this last one, there was not any written order extending it. But yeah, that's my big question is, if the original order was the 15th of June 2015 to expire at a year, but then they filed a motion to extend it for a year before it expired. Okay. And then so does that mean that June 15 or 16, it would be expired? They file a motion on the 16th to extend it. And we have a trial and all this stuff. I just don't know. I don't even know if that's... Oh, and I can't appeal that. I haven't filed my notice of appeal for that. I didn't even get a written order until that order extending it was signed. We had court June 14th, and he made an oral order. I really thought they wouldn't have the guts to submit it, because I said, go ahead, I can't wait to put this online. I can't wait to file a complaint. I can't wait to appeal this. It's insane. So, so he signed it. He signed it August 31st, and I think she filed it. She wrote up the order. According to the local rule of Davidson County, Rule 33.1, when there's a hearing, you're supposed to submit your written order for the judge to sign within 7 days. July 14th was when the hearing was. They swore out the warrant against me on August 6th. I was arrested August 7th. And she didn't even file an order until after that, much less have one signed by the judge. It was signed August 31st for the July 14th order. Man, this is 20 minutes already. Okay, so today in the mail I get the motion to amend the order of protection. I'm going to be in court on the 21st in 3rd Circuit Court, where the order of protection is. So now that I don't have a lawyer again, they think it's going to be really easy to cut me out of my daughter's life 100%. Because my custody modification trial is next year. First custody modification trial we had, after we had almost 50-50 custody, I'm going to have a coughing fit. They got a order of protection, lied to get an order of protection in the middle of it. I'm going to pause this and go get a cough drop.